behind the mask.
My name's Buck O'Brien. You don't know me, but welcome to Backstrokes, where we take a look back on.
Doing this?
Yeah, why would I stop?
You haven't quit yet?
I'm not. What the f? The series where we watch everything Adult Swim has ever aired, old and new, short and long, and Toonami included. And today we're gonna be looking at. So look, I'm gonna level with everybody. This show was already fighting a losing battle as soon as it stepped up past the trenches. Sketch comedy shows are hard to stand out to me, or at least they used to be. I think the only ones of note are Key and Peele, I Think You Should Leave, and Whitest Kids You Know, the latter of which has recently become the undisputed king. Now that could just be ignorance. I haven't seen every show in the world, despite what this series might make you believe. I've heard a lot of good things about Kids in the Hall, but I haven't watched it. But either way, who the fuck is Brad Neely, and how dare he step up to dethrone Tim Robinson? 3 years before I Think You Should Leave premiered. Brad Neely is someone I knew about, but didn't know I knew about till I knew, you know? He's been making content all the way back in 2004, the crowning of the internet, some would say. You probably know him best from either China, Illinois, the Professor Brothers, or one of his many music videos on YouTube. So, I had always heard about China, Illinois, never watched it really though. I knew about it, and I'm excited to watch it in the series. But when researching him, I stumbled across this video.
Well, I got 5:45 and it's 5:45. Gotta get a Whopper and a 40 ride. Yeah, you know you fucking feel.
And it opened up a long locked away memory in my brain from a third eye that just sprout from my brain. It felt like a key in a lock, like a YouTuber reminding you that Fuller House exists. I like this song. I like it a lot. I love the style. I like his vibe. He seems like a great guy from interviews in this panel clip I found.
You're more popular than we are.
Do you want to? You should probably be up here.
Actually, I really do want to. I want to take you up on if you're offering that because I've never been up.
Well, come up here.
Serious?
Yeah.
I feel like he and I would get along. He seems really down to earth. Which sucks, because I'm not going to bear the lead here. This show is not that great for me. Brad Neely's Harg, Nallin, Sclopio, Peepio. Mushmouth the show! Created back in 2016, but in development well beyond that, Brad Neely's Bargain Snargin Target Flargin is a cartoon sketch show. That's it. There's no plot or synopsis to go into. It's sketch after sketch after sketch. They almost never have any bearing on each other and rarely have recurring character. Why am I explaining the concept of a sketch? You know what a sketch show do, but we are here to see how this one do it. It do it very, very frantically. Brad Neely described the writer's room for the show a bit, and it gives a lot of insight to the show. He said he created and recorded 600 bits leading up to writing sessions, about 300 of which made it to the show. He said, "If nothing else, it's just a mountain of content, and I hope that'll be a reason to watch just by itself. It's a constant restart. Here's something new, and here's something else new." Sorry, did I say it gave insight earlier? I meant it was really obvious. Now, I'm not attacking him. I'm just saying that's kind of what it feels like already. His tone makes it sound like a perk, but it kind of feels like a really throw everything at the wall and see what sticks approach. But look, before we really dive into the show, just one more quote of his. "Some people really dig it, and some people are really confused by it, and that's totally fine. That's what I like about it." And I really truly do love that, and I identify with that, as I mentioned last episode. Like I said, Brad and I would probably vibe really hard. We're vibing hard together. You can hear the buzzing. But he said that people being confused and not clicking with it is what he likes about it, so I'm not gonna mince words. Up to this point, the background footage has probably been just a fucking flashbang of colors and images and shit just constantly happening. Usually when I edit, I try to cut clips to certain pauses of sentences, but I genuinely don't know how this one's gonna work. Like, some of these sketches are barely 5 seconds long.
Man, we just told you this is our turf, money.
There, that was an entire sketch. That's a whole sketch. And like, if I did a video on I Think You Should Leave or Whitest Kids You Know, it would probably look just as disconnected, honestly. But I think some of those sketch shows have some sort of through line with the sketches. I Think You Should Leave is in its name. It has someone making an awkward situation. Loiter Squad has a real, like, fuck the system vibe through all the sketches. Key and Peele usually involves a racial aspect, this is just...
It's like my daddy used to say, girl, if I catch you going around quoting me, I'm gonna tear that ass up.
I don't know. You could say it's basically like pop culture or TV, but then again, I feel like a lot of sketch shows could be, like Whitest Kids You Know. But that holds more weight in Brad Neely's show, I think, though. Because Brad Neely's Craggly Bag Flaggin' was originally called TV Sucks, and there's a lot of sketches that hold TV front and center. As goofy as it looks, it definitely has a very cynical edge to it sometimes, aimed primarily at like TV and pop culture, like I said. A lot of sketches with this character was a lot of fun, mainly like songs, and one that stands out to me is Preteen Predator, for some obvious reasons we'll get into right now. At first, it was a fun, stupid bit that just kind of got a... Huh? That's most of these sketches, but this one was just stupid enough to write a line of success. But when we follow back up later in that same episode, it's a family sitcom parody, like full-fledged.
But if you close your eyes.
This is exactly the pitfall that Beef House could have fallen into, where it's just a random crowd noise, and they poke fun at the absurdity of a family sitcom, but that's, you know, kinda it.
Come on, you can talk to us about your feelings.
Sitcom bad, that's the bit, that's the joke, it seems. This is more of like a retroactive praise of Beef House, not a dig at Berg Sturgeon's friggin' Frog Pogs. Because Beef House had a lot more time to explore that one subject, and this is, well, it's a frantic sketch show. And I feel like sketch shows are made or broken by their quotes and their banger to dud ratio. Brad thought he was playing the numbers game, which makes sense. Throw a million ideas out there and one viewer is bound to find something they like. But while that might be true, those few hits are gonna be wildly outnumbered by the duds, in my experience at least. As far as quotes go, I can't recall a ton. I Think You Should Leave has some of the best of all time, as does Whitest Kids You Know.
I don't even want to be around anymore.
Of course, man. You're part of the team.
I didn't do fucking shit!
But I think Brad's approach here comes from his tenure on the internet. Tim Robinson was an SNL writer before he did I Think You Should Leave, and he used a lot of failed sketches from that show on his own show. Brad did little YouTube shorts before shorts was a kind of a stinky thing. It's like a YouTube short, a short video on YouTube you would stumble upon. And I think if I saw like one of these sketches on their own in that context, I'd laugh a lot more. I can't tell if it was a pure mental exhaustion or what, but the stinky carrot bit got me. I'm not happy about it, but it did. If it was its own video on YouTube and that was it would probably be one of those videos I always paste in like Discord to annoy my friends because I'm the only one that finds it funny. But packaged around a show, I don't know, it could just be me. I don't know, seems to be a through line in most of these sketches, like, it feels like I'm out of the joke. It's like all inside jokes I'm not in on, so I'm just kind of lost. Which could be the case. This is probably a huge love letter to his very large and very devoted fan base. Like I said, he's been doing this since 2004. There's bound to be a long-running bit and themes that I'm just not gonna fucking get. But while a hardcore fan might go like, oh yeah, Little Perf's on TV now? It just feels like someone played every Jackbox game in a row to me and then made that an episode. Now, we usually don't like breaking the subjects of my videos down beat for beat because I don't want to be considered a substitute for the original. Also copyright. But this is just so wild and so, like, berserk. I feel like I gotta pick out a couple for you. Plus, they're short sketches. Like really short. See? That was another sketch, just on its own. So let's pick out a couple that I took notes on. So there's this group that pops in every now and then called Fruit Blood. They are Juice. They're obviously a very eccentric music group playing in an empty bar. Well, empty except for like a gremlin and an empty seat for Princess Diana. This reinforces what I'm saying, where if this was a standalone YouTube video or like a music video, kind of like Quiblo or Baby Cakes, Babyface, Baby Cake, I'd probably like it a lot more.
By and large, I am by and large.
Their songs are just as absurd as they look, but one song about climaxing really got me, and like got me hard, like I was laughing. I can't pinpoint exactly why, like most of these, but there they are. They are Juice.
Stop scratching yourself. I'm trying to climax. Don't wanna hear the specials. I'm trying to climax.
You know the stigma that adult animation gets sometimes, that it's just ugly and gross out, shock value, anti-conforming for all the wrong reasons? This one sketch about a dude sitting in a tan chair during a party is exactly that. Just gross for the sake of gross, at least in my opinion. And not even in a dumb fun way like Stripper with a Booger. This feels like a Fox adult animation, not Adult Swim, but I might be on the minority on that. Same with White Power Rangers, though that at least got a chuckle out of me for one or two lines. Brad said he's not really anti-anything, just anti-hate, that everything else is just a matter of opinion. So the joke isn't, haha, minorities, am I right? The joke is the absurdity of the bigotry of the white Klansman. So it gets a pass for me. Happy Birthday Jimmy Fallon is, once again, seemingly pure nonsense, but I bring it up because there's a fucking error in the title, like it shifts. But yeah, it's just this. I don't watch James, so maybe I'm missing the joke. That's it. That's all it is. 30-pack in a plastic bag reminds me of Quiblo a lot, and that's by design. Like I said with Quiblo before, it's a hell of a vibe. If it was a standalone, it'd for sure be one of my most watched YouTube videos, along with Quiblo. I think it's gotta be up there. This is also a good time to mention that the series has a lot of guest spots in each episode. Like, this one has Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's her singing. Andre 3000, Christian Shaw, Chelsea Peretti. It's a real who's who sometimes. So there's this running bit in each episode where this guy describes how he sees celebrities or characters. I always see Donald Trump with hands for teeth and no eyes with cheese rings and a robot body. And it just goes on and on and on for all these different people. It's just pure madness. The only one I even kind of get is James Bond, where he has two halves. Brad just keeps going and going and going with these. It's exhausting, in my opinion. I don't think they're that funny, and I dreaded seeing one in every episode. As I said before, I never watched China, Illinois, but I look forward to it when it pops up in this series. I recognize Baby Cakes from it and his YouTube shorts on YouTube. That was redundant as shit. Gotta be honest, don't get the major appeal, but the songs are pretty catchy and funny, and if anything, it has me more excited to watch more of his stuff outside of this show. There are way more I took notes on. There are so many. My Roommate's God. There's so many good ones. There's a lot of bad ones. But I think I'm starting to ramble and repeat myself, and also want you to be able to discover your favorite or your least favorite on your own. This show feels like that one episode of Rick and Morty where they improvise the interdimensional TV. I'm sure some of the sketches, especially the ones with this character, were written that way too. Just riffing in the writer's room, and I'm sure die-hard Neely fans quote this show at work or school, and I'm not going to take that away from anybody. Because just by playing the numbers game, Brad probably made a handful of sketches in the show that you will find funny. That alone, and just the spectacle of it all, is enough reason for me to tell you to watch the show at least once. You can knock it out in an afternoon, though from my experience, I would not recommend that approach. I felt like I was losing my fucking mind. But now that I think about it, if you legally use some drugs and watch this show, you probably would lose your goddamn mind. It's so, oh god, that sounds so fun. My aversion to this like random XD type of humor does have me curious though. Will Xavier and Robot Chicken also just seem like nonsense to me now? Like, I remember liking them when I was a kid, but as an adult, I'm not so sure after this. But it might flip me on this show when I get to those. So Neely fans, look forward to a possible retroactive apology. And China, Illinois too, whenever it shows up. Keep your eyes peeled. One last quote to leave you on is Brad saying, "I feel like to overcome anxiety, you have to overshoot it." And while I think he definitely overshot and did maybe a little too much, gotta commend the sheer creativity and drive behind this project. Isn't that how I ended the last one? But whatever, let's just move on, see what's next. Maybe it'll be something more cynical and bad, that way I can talk on. Oh my fucking god.